Hey guys, and welcome to a video covering a spell every PvMer should unlock, being Disruption Shield. Whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Disruption Shield is a lunar spell which requires level 90 magic to use. You unlock lunar spells by completing lunar diplomacy, however, you need to do something far more tedious to unlock this spell. That's right, Livid Farm. You need a whopping 290,000 produce points to unlock this spell, but fear not, as I have the solution, allowing you to unlock this spell like it's nothing. The benefit of unlocking it through the method I'm about to mention is that it won't take you much time in game, but it will take you a lot of time out of the game, being months. You can gain Livid Farm produce points by buying livid plants from the Traveling Merchant Shop, a temporary event at the Deep Sea Fishing Hub. Each time you buy and use a livid plant, which will cost you 1 million coins, you'll gain anywhere from 10 to 40,000 livid farm produce points. If we assume 25,000 points is the average, it will take you about 11 or 12 livid plants to unlock this spell, or 11 to 12 million GP. You can see on what days the Traveling Merchant has livid plants in his shop by using the wiki link in the description below, which showcases the future stock for the next year or so. If you'd like to be notified automatically, I recommend joining the Whirlpool D&D Discord, link in the description below, and selecting the Livid Plant emote. If you do this, you'll get pinged every day the plant is in the Traveling Merchant stock. Then to actually get the Livid Plant on a Livid Plant day, you would log in and simply join the Whirlpool D&D French chat and ask if there's a live merchant as of this moment by asking M ? In the chat. If there isn't, you can help scout for worlds or simply wait until a live merchant is called. They will say something along the lines like M10, which means merchant in world 10. Once this happens, you of course want to head over to that world in the Deep Sea Fishing Hub and buy your livid plant. Once you have 290k points, simply head over to the Lunar Isle Lodestone and unlock Disruption Shield at Livid Farm. Disruption Shield requires 10 body, 3 astral and 3 blood runes per cast and can only be used on the lunar spellbook. If you're using magic, I highly recommend using spellbook swaps if you're using this spell, as you'll be using ancients or regular spells for combat. If you're using ranged or melee, simply bring along a rune pouch with body, astral and blood runes to use Disruption Shield as you wish. So how does the spell work and what does it do? Well, once activated, Disruption Shield will block any melee, magic, ranged and soft typeless hits coming in. This means you can use this ability to reduce incoming damage in many situations unless it's hard typeless damage. Hard typeless damage is damage you cannot reduce by using defensive abilities, for example the initial hit of the next ice prison or an Arax or Cleave as 2 examples. Now you could simply use this spell to reduce high hits, but let's go over some scenarios where you could use this spell to your advantage to make your life a lot easier. Elite Dungeon 3's final boss is a perfect example of where you can use this spell and make it a lot easier. You can Disruption Shield the first magic hit and simply keep your range parry on and keep on focusing on the boss without having to worry about that initial hit. Sure, it isn't much and you can simply prayer flick, but it is nice to have. Instead of using Resonance or a Power Burst of Vitality, or let's say you have 2 fragments that were absorbed, you can use Disruption Shield for one of the bomb attacks if your DPS isn't that good for the spinners. A really nice use case scenario of the spell. Instead of using defensives, you can use this spell to reduce the damage of the so much power attack from Telos in phase 4. But there's something you need to know, and that's the timing of Disruption Shield is very important. That is because any damaging hit, even through Devotion or the Enhanced Devoted perk, can proc Disruption Shield, leading to you still taking that massive hit wherever it may be. Disruption Shield is also quite nice for the Falling Rocks if you aren't going to use the Reflect ability instead in phase 5 of Telos. Speaking of Falling Rocks, where else would you see these? Well, at Raksha for example, and at Raksha Disruption Shield is, well, extremely good. It's also nice for allowing you to soul split a little bit longer, as you can keep your soul split on and then simply use Disruption Shield, allowing you to focus on your damage or getting some heals in without having to prayer flick for one additional attack. It can also be a panic spell if you end up messing up a tail swipe in any phase of Raksha or charge for that matter, as those can also be reduced by using Disruption Shield. Moral of the story: For Aksha, Disruption Shield is amazing. I think you can start to see why Disruption Shield is useful. Now, it isn't essential, and you can easily resonance or use defensives or simply avoid most of the attacks where you could use Disruption Shield to your advantage, but it's nice to have, and it definitely makes some bosses slightly less intense because you can use this spell whenever it's off cooldown. And I think having access to a spell that can reduce most hits to 0 should not be looked over. You might not use it everywhere or every time you can, but it sure is helpful and it could save you a death or two in the long run. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, leave a like down below and maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.